Howdy, y'all. Jackson here with the Jerk Studios, and welcome back to another episode of Just Some Rambling. Today I've got my general football topics and then a little bit more serious one, so let's just hop into it. I'll start this off with rather quickly with the Michigan-Ohio State game. Uh, Obviously, Michigan lost 56 to 27. It wasn't really close. The game was really only close for about the first quarter, and then uh, Ohio State pulled away, which I guess wasn't totally unexpected because they are. I mean, I thought the game would be a little bit closer, but I mean, Ohio State is just such a dominant football team. I guess it wasn't completely out of the ordinary. Um, the defense really couldn't stop J.K. Dobbins. He just ran all over them and just yeah. The Michigan offense could not run. They also couldn't pass by the end of it, but they had some success throwing early, but then they didn't commit to it at all, and then everything fell apart. In the second half, the game was pretty much over by halftime. For the Wolverines, we now look to the Bulls, obviously. Uh, Seeing a couple different projections, like, we probably won't play Florida this year at least. Um, but, we can probably actually win a bowl because we'll be in a lesser bowl. Maybe probably still get to 10 wins. We can now hop over to the pro sphere of football with the Bears Lions game on Thanksgiving. Um, Obviously, the Bears won 24 to 20, though the win really was only on paper because overall it was just not a really good game for them, especially for the Bears especially. Um, they almost lost to a rookie third-string quarterback in his first start, and in fact, at times he looked better than their second overall third-year quarterback, Mitch Trubisky. Uh, so happy they got the win because we get to make the pick for the Raiders worse with every win at least. They're back to 500, and in fact they might get over 500 because the next game is actually tomorrow and it's against Dallas, which oddly enough they could win because Dallas is just they're kind of just their own thing. You don't really know what you're getting when you're going up against Dallas. Though if they do get a win, it's obviously going to be an ugly one, and it will probably be the last win of the season for the Bears because they close out their season with Green Bay, Kansas City, and then Minnesota. So as a Bears fan, I think I said it pretty much last week. The season's pretty much over. It's time to just look toward 2020 and figuring out what the heck they're going to do with the team. We can now hop back to college football and the new college football playoff rankings. I'm just going to go off the top 8 and just go over every team there. The resumes and whether or not they really have a path into the playoff. So at number 8, you obviously have Wisconsin. They're in the Big Ten. They're 10-2. They have their Big Ten championship against number 1 Ohio State. Their losses come to against number 1 Ohio State, obviously, and then that unranked loss to unranked Illinois. They have wins over number 14 Michigan, though, number 16 Iowa, and number 18 Minnesota. So even if they somehow manage to beat Ohio State, I just don't think they have enough, even with anything that can happen for the rest of the teams ahead of them, to get into the playoff. I think just the loss to Illinois keeps them out pretty much no matter what. At number 7, you had Baylor. They're in the Big 12, 11-1. They're in the Big 12 championship against number 6 Oklahoma, which I will get to. Their loss comes against that Oklahoma team, which they choked away because they had a big lead and just fell apart. They have a one ranked win over number 25 Oklahoma State, so really not impressive or anything. I think they can get in with a dominant win, or dominant or competitive win, with a Georgia Clemson loss, and either a Utah loss or a Utah ugly win. For Oklahoma, they're number 6. They're Big 12 as well, 11-1. They're playing against Baylor. Their loss comes against unranked Kansas State, and their ranked win also comes over Oklahoma State. They have the same parameters to get into the playoff, I think, with the dominant or competitive win, Georgia Clemson loss, and a Utah loss or ugly win. For number 5 Utah, they are in the Pac-12. They are 11-1. They have the Pac-12 championship against number 13 Oregon. Their loss comes against number 22 USC. They don't have any ranked wins, and I think they are in with a dominant win and a Clemson or Georgia loss. At number 4, you have Georgia. They're in the SEC. They are going up against the number 2 LSU Tigers in the SEC championship game. Their loss comes against unranked South Carolina, which was not a good game. They should have ran away with that game, but they win against number 15 Notre Dame, number 9 Florida, and number 11 Auburn, and they are in with a win and out with a loss, obviously. Number 3, you have Clemson. They're in the ACC. They are undefeated at 12-0. They have the ACC championship against number 23 Virginia. They have no losses. They also have no ranked wins, but they are, of course, the defending national champion. So they are in with a win and out with a loss, I think. Uh, Number 2, we have LSU. They're in SEC, obviously 12-0. SEC championship against number 4 Georgia is their next game. They have no losses, obviously. They have wins over number 9 Florida, number 11 Auburn, number 12 Alabama. I think they are in with a win and even a close loss as long as there is an ugly Big 12 championship and an ugly Utah win or a Utah loss. And finally, you have number 1 Ohio State. They're in the Big 10, 12-0. They have the Big 10 championship against number 8 Wisconsin, obviously, no losses. They have ranked wins over number 20 Cincinnati, number 8 Wisconsin, number 10 Penn State, and a number 14 Michigan. I think, barring a blowout loss, they are pretty much in no matter what. Alright, and the last topic I want to talk on is a more important one, though it's more of a political YouTube thing. So if that's not really interesting to you at all, just feel free to click off now, and that's fine. I want to talk about Owen Benjamin's suspension from YouTube, which actually ended up coming earlier than the news was reporting, because everybody thought he was going to get banned on the 10th, but yeah, he got banned yesterday. Anyways, before I really get into this, I want to make it clear, though I agree with him on like most, like family values and self-sufficiency and stuff, I don't necessarily agree with him on 100% of the things he talks about, especially on the conspiracy end of things, which I think he hits, maybe 20 to 30% on or so, and those are, mostly the competent conspiracy theories that probably aren't really conspiracies at all. But anyways, the more important thing that comes out of this though is just the general YouTube censorship kind of thing. In my opinion, whether or not you agree with somebody, even if you feel what they're talking about is offensive or derogatory, it should be the right to talk about it and speak about it and present their opinions. Some might argue whether or not YouTube has the right to take it down or not, but then you have to go into the whole platform versus publisher debate. And though I might agree with you at some point, if you're willing to cede certain points, YouTube's never going to apply their standards evenly. So if that's just never going to happen. So it's not really worth talking about because they have their biases, as a company, and you just know things will never get applied evenly between them. I feel YouTube, the internet is really more of a platform for everyone, and it should be up to the individual people on deciding what content they should put their time into, and yeah. And in closing or whatnot, I really say you should bring him back. You really shouldn't ban him, as well as pretty much everybody else who has been suspended for no real reason. Most notably, in my view, as somebody on the right politically, though I know there are left-wing anti-war channels that get suspended and stuff for no reason as well. Most notably to me, like Infowars and James Alsop. I really don't know why James Alsop get banned at all. Amongst others. It should be up to the people really to decide what to watch, and they shouldn't really be nannied by Silicon Valley, in my opinion. I'm just going to close by saying, especially if you're a creator or you follow creators, just make sure they have a presence outside of YouTube, whether it be like BitChute or Dailymotion, and on Twitter kind of things, maybe on Gabs or Mind. Just, you need to widen your horizon as a just as a person on the internet, because you really never know when these companies are going to come knocking at your doors or someone you like, and then they just disappear, and you don't know where to find them because you weren't following them on, or they didn't have presence on other platforms. Now, with that said, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like, hit that bell, and yes, if you are inclined to follow me on these alternate outlets, I do have them, and you can find the links on my links in the banner on my channel. Once again, thank you for listening. Bye.